I think Artanis was banned out yesterday. I think Artanis be a great pickup for either of these teams that seem to be more than capable of playing those heroes.
Didn't we see? I think we saw a first ban on Artanis, actually, just because he is very good on this map. But Game 3, Haipu, one team will move on to the Grand Finals. First pick, first ban for UTA.
Zarya ban? Don't want to deal with that anymore. Or will they?
Oh, you can see the hover. I don't have that knowledge.
Oh, rip.
All right. I think it's smart. I mean, when you've only got 2 lanes, that just means that much more value if you can tear down that wall early.
This is one of the rare maps and rare instances, if you're giving up first pick, that I would be okay with giving up Tassadar. You could just make a power play on some of the heroes that he pairs well with on your side on the next 2 picks, but they're going to go away with it. Arthas being a great first pick. This is actually a moment where I'm thinking, okay, Artanis is really good. If you get a swap onto Arthas, and a lot of times you don't always frontline, or you don't always swap frontline targets, but Arthas has 0 mobility, has no mobility talents that can boost his speed unless he's playing with something like Lucio or something like that. So if you get a swap onto Arthas, you have a very slow-moving target, especially if you go Phase Sickness at 7. They're going to go Lucio Greymane.
Okay, so the Greymane, I think, was a must. It's BOE, amazing, and a good response against the Arthas. Lucio is interesting. To favor Lucio over Malfurion, I find to be very compelling. It means they're not afraid of the lack of cleanse. And I also suspect does it almost guarantee double warrior? Because I feel it does.
It used to. And I think now it's still a very strong thing, but with Arthas, is that as necessary?
You mean against Arthas?
Or you're talking about against Arthas?
I'm talking with the Lucio. Yeah.
Oh, with the Lucio. Oh, because the percentage heals.
Yeah, and like, you don't have cleanse, so you kind of need more of a front line. It's like the double whammy, really. Well, we'll find out momentarily. Vala Malfurion picked up here, Malf, an obvious one. Vala also. She's really the most prominent poke hero, period, with that Monster Hunter build.
All right, the ban here. If you're looking to take out frontliners, this is one of those battlegrounds where I think Zeratul comes and goes. And if you're looking at what UTA brings, this might be a good time to ban Zeratul. Dahaka doesn't do as well on this. If you're looking to target frontline heroes, then this is a really good battleground to do that on. To force Claudius into a role or a hero that we don't see him play as often. Zeratul is a threat, I think, if you give him that, unless he is playing the Arthas. So they have that available to them. Do you see? I don't. Okay, no. I don't either.
I see an Artanis ban.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
ETC.
Yeah. I agree. Unless...
Oh.
I was actually going to say Sergeant Hammer, which might sound weird. But after seeing UTA ban Hammer in Game 2, I was curious if there was something we didn't know yet. Yeah, we saw it in Game 1, but maybe something's evolving in the scrim life of these teams, because I know these 2 teams do scrim together.
ETC seems like a likely pickup. You get that extra auto attack speed. You have great frontline control. You have primary targets that you can go on, especially a low mobility Arthas that you can turn on. So I think that's kind of a big deal. But it's a matter of what you want to pair with it. Do you want to go blow up comp? Do you want to be able to roam a little bit? Greymane can fit into the solo laner option, so you don't necessarily have to go that. If you want to secure that front line, maybe a Ragnaros pickup to defend against the Immortal if you should happen to lose it, so you can use that Molten Core. So ETC is there, and Rhaegar, great. Oh, wait, wait, they're going double support. What is this? What is this? Jake.
I'm
Jake,
thinking.
seriously.
I'm thinking.
No, Jake, seriously.
I, I'm like trying to find a way to just. I mean, it has to be Bloodlust. One, it just has to be, right?
If you're gonna do that, then I would pick up Falstad here and say, "That's cool. You want a Bloodlust and charge in. Here's a Gust. See you next time." Like, it's super simple,
Right.
right?
I think my biggest complaint with this Rhaegar pick right now is that, like you mentioned, counters are available, and why not save it for the last pick, right? I mean, they're not going to run Rhaegar Mouth. We'll see. Maybe they got something crazy up their sleeve. Tyrande Valeera. Oh, girl. Or girls, excuse me. Look at those
Maybe
elf.
they were
Look at
gonna
those
go
elf eyebrows. All three of them. Mouth, Tyrande, and Valeera. They can't even fit in their portrait frame.
I remember that time you and I were talking off camera, and you're like, "I wish I had elf eyebrows."
True story.
Do you think they were contemplating Hammer here and just go like double support, but it's
Yeah.
not as promising because of Valeera?
You can't. Yeah, I actually don't think you can go Hammer here. If you get caught by Valeera, Tyrande,
Oh, you're gone.
yeah, it's.
So Tyranda's just like, nope, here's a Lunar Flare, especially if you go Lunar Blaze at 7.
Talk about the vision too. Like if Mouth goes scouting drone, Tyranda's got owls. The one thing about Tyrande, she has to go blow up style. Like Season Marksman's not really good here. You're just not in lane ever. So sometimes you'll actually see the owl build.
Zul'jin.
I wonder if we'll see Broccoli. Medivh. You know, I like that. That's very smart.
No, I
but
don't.
It's
They have no damage. They have no damage.
Feral Lunge. Kappa.
They have no damage.
um,
But Medivh can
Believe.
scout out Valeera.
believe.
Yay. I am really confused. Beyond confused. I would have rather seen Butcher at this point. I'm not even kidding, by the way.
Because he's your only hero you play.
No, because Valeera, the minute she decloaks, you can just jump on her. It's super simple. Charge, power slide, she's dead. Good
Well-
meta, by the way. Nazebo would have been great. Nazebo can deal with a lot of Valeera damage and does well on this battleground. Like Nazebo, anything other than Medivh.
I'm actually not a huge fan of Nazebo here.
That's because you're crazy.
I mean, he's great, but his trait suffers.
He doesn't suffer on this battleground, especially you
No,
add Valeera
he-
into the mix, you get post 13. Like,
It's-
who's killing Nazebo?
I'm not saying he's bad. I just personally don't like him.
I would say he's a better pick than Medivh.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
What is this? Why is this?
Crazy series here in the semifinals of Cup number 4, HGC Open Division, America's finest amateur teams, showing you just NA things. Kira going to be on the Vala. Looking at those talents, as expected, it will be the Monster Hunter. The blow-up style for Tyrande. Block picked up here, or Rhyme, excuse me, for Arthas. And then Crippling Poison for the Valeera. I actually feel like we tend to see both the poisons on Valeera's nowadays, but she's still a rare pick overall. And Accelerado there for Lucio, the standard.
In a game where Rhaegar is your solo laner against Valeera, I got a feeling that's going to hurt.
Nah, he's got this. He's got totems. Does she have totems? Nah, she got poisons.
A game where it's Valeera versus Rhaegar solo laner.
Look
Fighting
at him
seems
go.
to be
Look at him go.
struggling already.
Homicidal's OP.
You know what else is OP? Not Medivh as your last pick.
Because of that, J-How, you've put the stream in bird cam.
Rhyme against Lucio is not easy either. I like this game because I have no idea.
Some of the statements you say, like, out of context are just so funny to me.
I'm trying to wrap my head around the defense. It's just, you were relying solely on Gray Main damage.
All right. Well, it's going to just be the first Immortal phase without any craziness happening prior to that. As always, we're going to have to remember that Hunter's Mark is such a big tool for blowing up the Immortal or your opponents, and ETC does get dumped.
Did you see the distance on that portal, by the way?
No.
I don't think you would have lived if you would have clicked on it.
No, probably not. It's too far. Good key there from Steve, trying to get some damage done, but Valera. Oh. Okay, little baby portals working out though. The Medivh shield eating up the burst damage coming through. Halftime show.
It's not about, Jake, it's not about where you go, it's who you're with.
That's true. You're so right, J-House Sensei.
Gladius looming in the bushes, or actually just in the shadows.
Yeah, there's no bushes there.
It's like bottom lane Sky Temple.
Well, you do see the experience is still dead even. Both teams have swapped sides on the map to defend their Immortals.
I've never seen this before.
The swap?
They literally swap sides. None of them are playing from behind their own structures to do damage. They're literally on their enemy side.
This is still so favorable for UTA though. I mean, if Kira can get one hungry arrow in. Oh, good Lunar Flare into the back. They're looking at Medivh, but a bit of miscommunication there as no one really got, you know, cohesive stuns onto a single target. Power slide into the mid. Gladius will greet him. The Lunar Flare follow-up is good. Hunter's Mark applied. Battery, it's dropped down to about 1/3 of his HP.
This could be one of the most unique drafts and first Immortal phases I've ever seen.
Some of these portals, the portal actually tricks the camera, which is good to know. Homicidal gonna get the nice force of will at the end, and the ETC will get blown up again, dropping his guitars into the nether. Lunar Flare not connecting on anyone, trying to keep the approach on in, but that's going to be the end of the phase. Once again, a good force of will. Can they get the single kill? Medivh portal going in. Okay, they get the one kill, and Lucio trying to get a second, not able to do so. Malfield coming through.
So, 3 supports essentially with Medivh, and they did 0 damage to the Immortal.
I mean, that's shocking.
So now, you have a fully shielded Immortal, which isn't terribly scary because there's nobody here to support it, but you know.
I mean, Medivh's holding his own in damage. He's done more than Valera. But you know, they were on the defense the whole time. Good Howling Blast going in onto 2E. Kevin in the front, putting in good bit of control. I gotta say, overall, good defense there on the Immortal. Rhaegar holding his own in the bottom lane versus Gladius as well. That Feral Lunge and the Totem giving him all the additional sustain he needs. Actually, it's the first time we've seen Healing Totem picked up in this tournament, I think. Puncturing at 20. Okay. Nothing crazy. 7's almost here for both teams. Kevin is going to be the focus target here for a lot of damage. Yuge and Toby, however, have plenty of healing to sustain through that. Good Greymane approach. The portal goes in. Can they find that kill? They're backing up. Yuge will live to see another day.
Jake, you said primary target for a lot of damage. Now, when you say a lot of damage,
They got 80% of her health bar in the end.
No. You said Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Primary target when he power slid on him.
I figured the team would be looking for a lot of damage. Good force of will there onto Battery, who this time doesn't die for a change.
for a change.
I mean, what's he at in the death life? He's at 2.
Master's Touch, 3 stacks. We'll keep an eye on that because they'll definitely need that damage. The next Immortal phase should be here soon, so teams are going to start prioritizing their Shaman camps. And there's the spawn countdown, and we'll have the trade-off here in just a moment.
Yep, both teams working on their Fallen Shaman. Will be timed well for both parties. The Sentinel hitting Frozen X, just revealing that yes, they are in fact there. And here we go. Safe spawn. I'd say this is probably a relief for Even in Death, since they don't seem to be the aggressors. They're waiting for a slip-up out of UTA.
It's just a matter of building stacks for Master's Touch. I think right now there's no real questing talents. You do have the Elixir, so you'll try and get damage out of that with Greymane. Not opting to go into Worgen build on this Battleground, a little different. Looking more for the team fighting aspect with the cocktail build.
Yeah. Scouting drone down. That's a juicy 3-man Master's Touch he could have gone for, but doesn't take the bait. Could have been a Howling Blast on his little bird feet, and that's lights out.
Well, the standoff is here. Both teams clearing up the camps, trying to get a little bit of split soak in. Rhaegar hasn't made his way up just yet. They're even in death a little bit closer to 10. I got a feeling, Jake, it's got to be a bloodlust comp.
I feel like it has to be.
With Rhaegar showing, they have a 5 versus 4 potential to just try and push in, be a little bit more aggressive here.
That experience is substantial, though. They're a little bit closer on their way to level 10 due to the additional experience they've collected so far. This does force someone to go down and collect that XP in bottom, and that's going to be Valera. Should even things out almost identically. But Frozen X in the top. This is enough XP, I believe.
I think both teams are going to try and make a push towards that. So we see the push in here by Even in Death. They recognize that a few members are missing. They're going to go in a little bit hard here.
I'm not sure what revealed him. He didn't manage to get this stun out onto Lutano. Kevin, a little bit secluded. Power Slide should connect here. Mosh Pit used to make sure they can get this kill onto Arthas. So yes, that is going to be 1 kill. Long cooldown and a ton of damage here with that Hunter's Mark and the Vala just with Hungering Arrow to even things up. Bloodlust, Leyline Seal, going to be the plan of action from here on out.
So with Lucio, I almost would have rather have seen... wait just a moment. Excuse me. Almost would have rather seen reverse amp. When you have Bloodlust, you're already healing off your auto attacks, and if you don't coordinate that well with your sound barrier, they might overlap, and you don't necessarily get the same type of value that you traditionally would. Yes, you'll be healing up behind those shields, but they're really big shields as the Power Slide does miss there. But it's also another engage tool, and right now they're on their back foot as they see Gladius. They have him out. The smoke bomb is used.
Yeah, works out. So they managed to retreat away. We do see the Immortal. They're both quite low here. Battery in the back. Again, there's no mosh pit. They completely whiff the Twilight Dream. Good use there from the Medivh shield. And we see the Sound Barrier coming out as well. Lutano vaulting away from the Rain of Vengeance. Battery, however, has to step into the portal to retreat from that fight. Very low they are from this, and Bloodlust not getting a whole lot of effectiveness overall, not able to pick up the single kill. Their composition is kind of reliant on that damage.
Yeah, the damage just simply isn't there. As you can see, Vala was able to push in on that bottom Immortal and basically secure the rest of the damage. As it is going to be another Immortal, far less shielding on this one than we had the first go-round, so a little bit easier to defend. But nonetheless, UTA, another Immortal, will be pushing here in the bottom lane.
Okay. Well, they're going to pick up a lot of XP here. With this Immortal, should be able to get a fort behind this. Rhaegar is going to be left alone as Valera is on the rotate down. That rotate could really mean a big difference here. Into the back. Rain of Vengeance follow-up. Lutano's pretty much all of their damage. Can they seal the deal? Lunar Flare goes in onto 2. Good force of will. How is very low, doesn't falling. Rhaegar rotation was there, but not in time, even with the chain heal.
Yeah, not able to secure it, but another small victory here for UTA. The Immortal didn't have a whole lot of health left, so they're not able to confirm. We see the aggressive portal. They're not going to go back in. I think that's a good call, but Master's Touch at 24 stacks just needs about 6 more to actually do some damage.
So we're talking 2,200 XP picked up there in total just from structures. Pretty nice overall. 1 kill as well. And now we got the Khazar camp being picked up. Trying to min-max. This will be level 13 for them. Lunar Flare and Roots both being spent to guarantee the safe collection on the backside. Kevin, beautiful flank. The mosh pit attempted. Oh, Sound Barrier keeping Battery alive for a little bit longer, but Twilight Dream enough to shut him up with that silence. And Lutano's desperate to try to find a kill as the only damage, but he just doesn't have enough juice in the tank.
Yeah, the hard part there is that the Sound Barrier missed ETC on the front line because it was so far back. It was a great engage tool, but the person low with health did not receive that. So ETC, we have a 1-for-1 trade. ETC for Vala in that fight.
All in all, considering they didn't have 13, not the worst thing in the world for Even in Death to be able to trade 1-for-1. Other things to note, I mean, they do have their questing talents completed now, so like things will be a little bit better from here on out. They just need to find that leyline seal and then chase them down with the Bloodlust afterwards, get the good positioning, and kill Tyrande, really. She has sprint, but they just need to kill her.
Yeah, it's a tough comp to really take a fight with, and I think both teams are just going to drop back. Actually, they're not going to drop back.
They can't race this. This is like...
a little bit of indecision.
Like, what are you going to do? Cast Bloodlust? Oh, you can't. It's a cooldown. Maybe if it's at, like, the halftime show, maybe then you consider using Bloodlust, but only in a very late game situation where you think you can win the game with that push. So... I don't know. This is really tough for them.
I forgot to switch my observer over to the new UI, so like I'm totally off on heroic cooldowns until the next game, by the way.
Gotcha. Well, Leyline Seal cooldown is broken, it seems, but everything else seems pretty good here. 6 seconds on Mosh Pit, everything else is available as far as I know.
Actually, I'm going to sneak it off of your Skype feed. Thank you. All right. Well, we saw the little bit of an advantage, but now it's on the safe side for both teams.
Lunar Flare
going in. The Lunar Flare hitting another couple of targets. The Roots, just not a lot of follow-up. Battery using the portal to go in. Misses with the power slide.
Kind of a horrible Bloodlust, if I have to be honest. I think it hit one member outside of Rhaegar. Lunar Flare goes in. Forcible denies everything. Leyline Seal is cast as a response. They will get a mosh pit onto 1. The cleanse was perfect. Get used out of there. Twilight Dream responsive to Lutano. The retreat there once again. Very all over the place in that fight. Not a whole lot of good.
Oh, the knockback into the stun. That's going to be enough. There's a kill. People are pressing buttons, and finally something did something. As Lutano and team trying to go in and look for another one, they should be able to engage on top of this Immortal and potentially get an Immortal for themselves, but Greymane continuing to dive. Huge, can he get out of here alive? That's going to be a no.
Cure putting the pressure on. Claudius was on the back side of things as well. Frozen X is down to like 300 HP. Battery power slid his way out of there. The Earth Shield keeps him alive. Clutch plays, but Claudius puts enough pressure on to chase them off even after losing Tyrande and pick up this Immortal. More than 50% power on the shields here, and that's going to be a dead fort up top.
Pretty bad when you win a fight. You take down 2 members, but you don't even come close to winning the Immortal. Just so much damage on that back line, and Claudius doing work on that Valir. Just like, get out of my house.
Tilted. Leyline
In
Seal.
Kentucky, we would just say, get.
Get hit.
Get.
Well, Valir going to come around the backside this time once more, just like the last Immortal push. We saw the Immortal go in, take out the fort. Valera was just behind that onto one of the back line targets. Froze next. The target this time, Rain of Vengeance roots everything in, but the portal persisted in its place long enough to get him out. Got beautiful use of that Starfall to force him back behind this wall, pretty much guaranteeing the collapse of this keep wall here. That's about as much as they'll give. The 16 is here. Good advantage for UTA.
You know, some games you just have, you look really good. In other games, it can get a little sloppy. I think when one team drafts something they're not entirely familiar with or just doesn't have the same type of pop, that sometimes you have a hard time engaging into it. Right now, a little bit of a sloppy game between these two teams, but UTA continuing to flex their overall skill. They've obtained every single Immortal so far and have 2 forts down and now have a keep wall down too.
Yeah, sometimes when we have these like moments where we can just kind of like think about the match and lay the land, I just like to go to bird camp so I can listen to the
I don't hear it.
I'm sad for you.
I must have different game sounds on, but either way, Frozen X scouting out the Shaman camp a little bit too early to pick that up and making sure to see if he can maybe snipe that. Tyrande using her Owl, her Sentinel, to scout out the other one as well. Looks like we're going to have a trade before the next Immortal phase, but experience pretty even nonetheless.
Yeah, it's very even. We have not seen an Immortal yet go to even a death. Again, a lot of that XP. 6,000 picked up for UTA from structures. So you can see where the breakdown is. You know, a lot more in total when it comes to that, but when it comes to the mercenaries, again, still pretty even. A little bit better soak, largely due to Rhaegar here. And the lanes just rotating around and more kills here for UTA.
Yeah, this is actually very difficult as we see the stun coming in. They're forced to use the portal to get out. Battery trying to do, or Frozen X trying to do anything he can to get out of there. As the ley line was forced to be used, the power slide in, but the interrupt in tied very well with the Rain of Vengeance. The Sound Barrier, Kevin in very deep, somehow staying alive with his army. And the Rain of Vengeance coming down as they fight under the Starfall, not able to confirm any kills there. Jake, there's a camp that's going to be pushing bottom as well.
You know, that was like what I wanted to see, the Leyline Seal into the Bloodlust. I feel like the Mosh Pit was almost desperate to just like, you know, get that one target locked down. And Mosh has actually done nothing this game, mind you. The cleanses and, you know, the response has just been there every single time. So, well played to UTA. Bottom Merc Camp did get cleaned up by Rhaegar, who's on his way back. They didn't really take a whole lot of damage on their Immortal, so no harm, no foul. But there is a big power deficit here on the side of Even in Death. They do not have Mosh, Sound Barrier, Bloodlust, or Leyline for 24 seconds for each. And they are just going to be playing passive.
Yeah, they need more dots.
More dots. That's an old meme, JL.
Don't call me out on it. You'll lose 50 DKT.
Okay,
From the
Force
root
Will.
on to ETC.
Good power slide away. Kept takes a fair bit of damage there. Heals aren't just too much with the lovers of Malfurion Tyrande.
Are they the power couple?
They are.
Like, if you're even in death, you just think, what do we engage with? Yes, you have the portal. Mosh Pit's still down another 20 seconds, but their engagement tools are few and far between. They also lack any bit of poke. So it's just like they are forced into this defensive posture, and UTA can just sit here and wait for that opportunity. And they have plenty of follow-up. The minute they don't necessarily have to engage. It's not up to them to engage. They can continue to come in, poke, and then drop right back out.
Okay, power slide after that chasing Cure. Not able to get the lockdown. Then what beautiful Twilight Drain. The Bloodlust is using the backside with that nice Sound Barrier, and the Mosh Pit this time is the value they needed. Tyrande goes down. Arthas will follow. Lutano gets low, but the power of Bloodlust getting the self-heal is enough, and Claudius can't find the kill, even in depth, putting an Immortal on the board momentarily.
Yeah, Cure used that Rain of Vengeance right before and put it on cooldown, so they did not have that for the interrupt despite the cleanse. And so nicely done there. Even in Death finally found the opening they were looking for. They got 2 kills. Looks like they'll be obtaining their first Immortal as well.
Yeah, they're going to start powering through this health bar. And, you know, I've been talking about this a lot today, mainly because I've got this fun new tool to show the XP breakdown. Only 1,600 XP has been picked up from structures, and we're going to see that change rapidly. They're all going back to get to full power. Push with this Immortal and see how far they can take it. We're at a late game Immortal keep wall. That's their target. If they can get a keep, fantastic.
Yeah, this is a pretty big shield. Heroics, it's actually one of the, with Bloodlust, it's one of the few heroics you could use to basically hard engage to secure structure damage and feel good about it. Hyperion, stuff like that is actually one you can use. So Bloodlust is actually one of the better ones. I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to get through this gate quickly, potentially get a pick if they take down a sidewall, that they might try and use that Bloodlust to secure a keep, because a keep in this battleground can really force rotations, but Starfall is the answer in return for now.
Buying them some time to whittle down this Immortal. You know, that's something that Vala does very well with, especially with the Hungering Arrow. So the shields have been depleted. Immortal now in the melee form. ETC in the front. Nice force of will. Keep going down easily. From here, they just need to make sure they don't lose any hero. Claudius looking at the backside. Frozen X. Oh,
if they get a Maj, there's one Rain of Vengeance. Bloodlust is used, so is Sound Barrier. They're going in the power slide on the backside, but the Rain of Vengeance goes down. They're going in deep right now, Jake.
Nice Twilight Dream, but is it enough? Claudius is down to 200 HP. Oh, trying to get out of here. He's going to be able to survive. Roots are good, but the Immortal chunking through this core's HP, even in Death, looking to make the upset happen. They're forcing them back. Kevin is going to go down, and even in Death, upset UTA.
Wow, I don't think anybody expected this, especially with this draft, but one team fight turns into an Immortal, turns into a